Hey, welcome back to Yana Float. So this week's sailing adventure didn't involve me or my family out on Ayla or on the speedboat. Instead, I spent the week learning. So I've been doing my day skipper qualification. And I did that with the Hamble School of Yachting over near Southampton. So I thought I'd share what it's like and what I learned and whether it's worth doing. So first of all, a bit about why I took the course. So you may know if you've been following my channel that I've been sailing for a little while now, but I wanted to build more on my confidence, navigation and passage planning abilities, as well as skippering on unfamiliar waters. But also, I wanted to learn the right way of doing things, not just my way. When you sail on your own a lot and on your own small boat, you don't necessarily learn the skills in exactly the correct way that they would be needed on, for example, a larger boat, which is heavier, harder to stop, longer keel, and which require more crew to operate. So by doing a day skipper course, I'm building my own abilities to effectively manage a team, and that team would be your crew, and I would be helping walk them through the process to sail the boat and to get where we need to go. So the Day Skipper course is designed exactly for that. It's about turning a competent crew member or somebody who is maybe familiar sailing their own boat but not being the skipper to be ready to take charge. It's also providing me with a qualification that I need if I want to go and charter a boat either at home or on holiday somewhere, for example in the Mediterranean or the BVI. So that I can do some really nice family holidays. And what you can do actually is you can trade your RYA Day Skipper qualification for an ICC, International Certificate of Competence. And if you do your Day Skipper, you can trade that in and that will let you drive a power boat up to 10 meters or a sailboat larger than that. I'm not 100% sure on the maximum size, possibly 40 meters, which is quite large. If you have your Powerboat 2 course, you can also trade it in for ICC, but that will only allow you to drive powerboats up to 10 meters. So I did the course alongside my dad as well. So now we've got 2 qualified day skippers in the family. And that's going to enable us to do some flotilla holidays, which actually require you to have 2 qualified people per boat. So we'll be able to do that too. So in regards to what the course actually covers, so the course covers a mix of theory and practical work. I did the combined course over 9 days, and the great thing about that is it started on a Saturday and ended on a Sunday. So it was a very long 9 days, but that meant I only needed to take 1 week off work. It covered things like charting, such as plotting your course to steer, working out your estimated position, and plotting waypoints for a passage plan or a pilotage plan, and generally the important navigation techniques you need in order to be a good skipper. It also covered things like buoyage, coal regs, and other kind of practical things you need to know when sailing a boat and skippering a good yacht. So the course itself is not overwhelming, but you definitely need to stay switched on, especially with all of the tides around the Solent. The theory element of the course was fairly straightforward. As long as you pay attention during class, then you should have no problems picking up the techniques that are taught. The practical element of the course is quite tiring, especially if you've got some good wind in your sails and a bit of sunshine all day. Then you need to keep on slapping on sun cream, drinking water, making sure you don't suffer from a heat stroke. Very important. My experience for the course. So I may have already mentioned I completed the course with Hamble School of Yachting. So this is the Isle of Wight and the Solent. Over here you've got Christchurch, and up here you've got Southampton, Portsmouth. And then the River Hamble is just kind of in the middle between Southampton and Portsmouth. And just up the Hamble River, you've got Mercury Yacht Haven here. And in Mercury Yacht Haven, you've then got Hamble School of Yachting. This is their website. If you were looking to book the course with them, you go through RYA sailing courses, and it's actually a beginner course, although it didn't feel like a beginner to me course, but yeah, you might want to have some experience before you start, such as a competent crew and some miles under your belt at least. And then from here, you can choose to do your day skipper. I did the combined theory and practical. And the combined theory and practical course is really great. As I mentioned, it's Saturday to Sunday, 9 days, only 1 week off work. It costs £1,035 at the time of recording. I think it was a bargain, to be honest. I mean, you've got on that 5 days at sea on a boat. All of the meals are included whilst you're actually on the boat during the practical side. During the theory side, so that's Saturday to Tuesday, you need to sort out your own accommodation and you need to sort out your own food. But while you're on the boat, so Tuesday to Sunday at the end of the course, then your accommodation's on the boat. Although if you're going to marinas, there may be a marina fee, which you and your crew will need to kind of split between yourselves. And then the food was actually included. I had thought I'd be going out to a lot of pubs and restaurants, but the food provided on board was really good and plentiful. So we were really well fed. And from what I understand, Hamble School of Yachting is probably offering the best food available on board. So definitely a thumbs up from me for them. The course is going to provide you with all of the knowledge which you need to be a day skipper. So that was really great. I'll just go through a little bit about kind of what we did on course. So I've mentioned already kind of what we did in the classroom. Once we started the course, we spent the first night on board on the boat at Mercury Yacht Haven, and then kind of went through all the safety things on board, such as the safety equipment. And then we went off the following morning. So we set sail down, well, we didn't sail down, we motored down Hamble River. And then once we got out of Hamble River, we put up the mainsail and set sail. I tell you what, for me, actually, the initial part of the course was nerve-wracking. When you're sailing, as I mentioned, on your own, you're picking up your way of doing things, not the recognised way of doing things. And actually, it was quite intimidating, thinking, oh gosh, am I doing this right? Is the instructor, who at that point is being a skipper, is he going to tell me off, tell me I'm doing it wrong? And yeah, I was definitely under a lot of pressure. So things which I've never done before, like sweating the main halyard. That's where, normally I just pull in the main halyard to lift the top sheet through the winches in the cockpit. But on this boat, where we've got crew to actually work with, one crew is kind of tailing the halyard through the winch, whereas the other crew members up on deck actually sweating the halyard down from the mast. So I've never done that before. It was an experience. And even things like dropping the sails, properly flaking the sail onto the boom. That's something I've never done before. I've always just dropped it onto the lazy jacks. Or on my old boat, Mustang, I'd just wrap it around the boom. Or I guess sometimes I did flake it, but I didn't really recognise that as what I'm doing. And even there's some things which we were taught to do, which I know to do anyway. It comes naturally to me. But when you put it into words and describe it, it just takes a different amount of focus and brain space to actually do that. If you're telling crew how to raise a mainsail, we were given this acronym VMT, Vang Main Topping Lift. These are things I'd normally do anyway, but before you raise a mainsail, you want to first of all release the vang, release the main, and pull in the topping lift in order to lift the boom, so that the boom's not weighing down on the sail while you're hoisting it. And then once the sail's raised, you want to do the reverse. So you want to release the topping lift, tighten up the main. And then once that's all done, you want to tighten up the vang. So yeah, just actually putting these things into words was a challenge for me and took a lot of learning, but we eventually got there. Hence, I've been able to explain that to you just now. So, qualified day skipper. That's the proof. We sailed down Southampton water, and on the first day we kind of practiced some man overboard techniques, collecting a man overboard under motor in this scenario, and we practiced that kind of outside, just past Bewley River. Bewley River we didn't get into, but it looks really nice, and as part of the theory course I did a little pilotage plan into Bewley River. Just looking at this without the Day Skipper knowledge, you might just go in there, but then you may well run aground, because as you go into Bewley River, there are a couple of key transits which you need to take. So you've got this, I don't know if you can see it here, this isn't a chart, but you've got a buoy outside of the entrance of Bewley, and then you've got, I don't know if it's pronounced Leap or Leppy House, but you've got Leppy House, might be that one, I think, and it's got an orange roof, and you basically make a transit line between the house and the first portside channel marker, the lateral buoy, and you draw a line between that, and that's the line you follow until you're into the channel, and then you follow the channel buoys up the river. So yeah, it's important to actually understand these elements about going to ports which you're not familiar with, and those are normally described, these kind of pilotage notes are normally described in the almanac. So we learnt all about these things, and actually that's on my shopping list. I'm going to get myself an almanac next, and I'm trying to get some charts for the Solent and other areas on the south coast, because actually, having done this course, I'm really into it, and I really want to actually use this stuff and not just rely on electronic charts. Although I did, while I was out this weekend, pick up a Savvy Navi subscription. And by the way, if you want to get a Savvy Navi subscription, there's 20% discount codes literally everywhere. Just Google it. I'm sure you'll find one. So after doing our man overboard practice, we headed over to Yarmouth. Just went past it over here. We stayed the night in Yarmouth. It was a nice harbour, had dinner, had a drink, and got a much better night's sleep. The first night I was a little bit anxious and excited about going out sailing for the week, so I didn't sleep so well, but after that first night at sea, I was very much ready to have a good night's sleep. In the morning, we then sailed off up to Newton Creek. In fact, no, I think we went into Newton Creek actually on the first day after doing a man overboard. And whilst in Newton Creek, we were lucky, but somebody was very unlucky because there was actually a wreck there, funnily enough, next to the isolated danger buoy. So maybe they wrecked themselves because they weren't aware of the voyage and what it means. Another thing you learn during the course. But what that does mean is we saw a temporary wreck buoy, which they're quite rare, as you need a temporary wreck in order to see them. But yeah, coming out of Yarmouth, we headed up to Cowes. We practiced dropping anchor in Osborne Bay next to Osborne House over here. So we practiced doing man overboard, where you kind of do a crash tack into a hove to, and then you just kind of use the engine to drift forwards and backwards as the wind pushes you back onto your man overboard. We did that around there before heading into Cowes for dinner and a short bit of rest before we then headed back out at 9:30, getting back in at was it 2 a.m. or something, where we did a 4-hour night sail. So we headed out at night, going around the Solent, kind of trying to navigate using the buoys. Again, no e-charts, just buoyage, and recognizing the lights which they have, and the patterns of the lights in order to know which buoy we're looking at, because at night all the lights just look the same. You can't quite tell how far away they are, so you need to work out where you are based on the lights. So we sailed around up towards Portsmouth, and then back through the North Channel towards Southampton, and then heading back down the main channel. And actually it's quite amusing because heading down the main channel, we were actually outside of the main shipping channel, but we were victim to a large container ship giving us 5 blasts on the horn because maybe they thought we were, I don't know, wandering into the channel or something. And obviously coming down this channel, they're constrained by draft, so we need to stay out that way. We felt it was unjustified. We weren't even in the channel, but yeah, they let us know, and they let the rest of Southampton know at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or whatever time it was that we were in the wrong place. So we pulled in a jibe and went out of the channel a little bit further in order to give them plenty of room before sailing back in to Cowes for the night. Yeah, so the following day we left Cowes, feeling a little bit tired because of not much sleep. We sailed up back to Southampton water. We dropped an anchor down near Netley Abbey in a little anchorage here for lunch. And then after lunch we practiced picking up mooring buoys under sail. And then after that we had lots of practice doing that, and then headed up to Ocean Village Marina. And maybe I'll start sharing some drone footage now which I took. So Ocean Village Marina is central Southampton, and turns out this is where all of the the rich guys keep their super yachts. So this marina is just stuffed full of very luxurious and expensive boats, as you can see. And we spent the first night here. We spent a night here. Had some good dinner, had a drink at the bar, relaxed. And then in the morning, we spent the whole day practicing tight space maneuvering and berthing in these finger berths in amongst very tight quarters with all of these very expensive $1 million, £1 million yachts and super yachts and motorboats. So, wow, the pressure was really on. You know, we were just very uncomfortably close to a lot of very expensive boats whilst practicing and learning how to maneuver. But that certainly put the pressure up. We kind of just kept doing that all day, and all of us trainees on board, we were all very keen to get a lot of practice in on this, because it really is actually probably one of the hardest things when getting on a big boat like a 40 foot yacht for the first time, actually learning how to maneuver and park the thing in tight quarters, trying to leave or berth in a marina. That's probably where the most damage is going to happen. So yeah, we wanted a lot of practice. All right, so once we'd finished doing that, we kind of left Ocean Village Marina the following day and just sailed back out. Nice, quiet, leisurely sail back up Southampton water, up into the Hamble, and then finally got back into Mercury Yacht Haven, parked the boat here in the marina, and spent the time just cleaning the boat and getting our qualifications and saying goodbye, and that was a course over. So I've come out of it as a qualified day skipper, and my dad has as well. Following on from this, we'll do some more sailing videos with Ayla. I'm going to try and get the Boston Whaler finished so I can do some trips this summer with that. I took the propeller off and started dismantling the outboard because I was trying to paint the lower unit, but I've not got around to actually finishing that job yet. So I'll try and get that finished, and I'm going to try and do a series of videos around the skills I've learned during a day skipper course. So things like picking up the mooring under sail, doing the hove to maneuver, picking up man overboard, and try and do some of the parking techniques as well, which we've learned. But obviously Ayla's a slightly different boat. It might not handle the exact same way, so this might be a little bit of trial and error, but I'll share all of the trials and tribulations with you as we try that, and hopefully it just goes swimmingly, and I'm able to recreate all of the things I've learned on Ayla. And then maybe we'll also do a bit of chart work as well once I get my almanac and charts of the Solent and South Coast area. So I really look forward to sharing all that with you. Fair winds and following the seas. Until next time, bye-bye.